Nag-record na ba? Okay, so let's start. So again, welcome to MTY1103 Analytical Chemistry. Okay, so this is another subject ng chemistry that you will take. Bali, almost tatlong chem nata kayo, no? Inorganic, organic, analytical chemistry, then biochemistry, no? So this is the second chem and second to the last as well, no? Okay, so yun, let's have some overview about the coverage of this subject. Okay, and ano yung mga requirements natin para makabasa sa subject na to. Okay, so when you say analytical chemistry, from the word itself, we can deduce the idea na siya ay about analysis. Okay, so from the word analytical, analyze yan, di ba? So this is a chemistry that is focused on analyzation. Okay? So ano yung type? Excuse me. This is the chemistry focused on analyzation. So ang question doon is, what are the types of analysis in chemistry, no? So in analytical chemistry, we cover two types of analysis. We have the qualitative and the quantitative chemical analysis, no? So when you say qualitative analysis, we are pertaining to the qualities of matter, no? So pag sinabi natin qualities of matter, we may be looking for the identity of the molecules, the identity of ions, their color, no? So yun yung mga qualities ng matter. Will they react via precipitation reaction, acid-base reaction, redox reaction? So yun yung mga qualities ng matter. Okay? Pero, other than that, analytical chemistry is focused also on the quantitative aspect. Pag sinabing quantitative, we are pertaining to quantity, numbers, okay? Anong numbers? Number of atoms, pwedeng moles of atoms, etc., etc., no? So, yun. Bali, ang analytical chemistry, this is something that is not new for you dapat. Kasi, when we say qualitative analysis, it includes chemical reactions, um, atoms, molecules, and ions, yung mga na-discuss na nung in-org, di ba? So, mauulit lang siya. Level up nga lang. Okay? Pag sinabi namang quantitative aspect sa analytical chemistry, we are pertaining to stoichiometry, mass-mole relationship. No? So basically, analytical chemistry is just glorified inorganic chemistry. No? Parang mas na siya, ni-level up na inorganic chemistry. So, this should not be new to you. No? Kasi alam, nakapasa naman na kayo ng inorganic chemistry. However, I will tell you na ang level up na to ay medyo tricky din. No? So may tricky parts dito sa Anachem na yun. So yun, no? Medyo fair, warning lang, no? Na yes, familiar kayo with the core concept, no? Inorganic chem pa rin to halos. Ni-level up lang, okay? So however, since ni-level up natin, expect na may twist, no? So, yun. When I say twist, maraming equations lalo, no? Mas maraming concepts, no? Pero overall, andun pa rin yung concept na same siya as inorg, no? Okay, so this is similar as in organic chemistry. So as of now, pagkatapos ng class natin, you can start recalling your inorganic chemistry, no? So you can start recalling your in-org chem topics kasi basically dun iikot ang Anachem. Okay? So yun lang. So that's the scope of Anachem. No? We will be focused on the qualitative and the quantitative aspects of chemical analysis. No? Again, when we say quality, focus tayo sa identity ng molecules. Ano sila? How they behave. When we say quantitative, we are focused on the measurements. No? Kung gaano sila karami, ano yung mass nila, ano yung volume nila. So, ganun lang. Okay? So, yun lang naman yung overall scope ng Anachem. Our objectives here are the following. No? So, number one is, of course, to recall the concepts laid before sa inorganic chemistry. So, alamin natin yung measurements, alam nyo na yan. Yung, ano, yan ba yung mga measurements, mga volume, mass, 'di ba? Pero this time, ang measurements natin that is accompanied with specific instruments na, no, which will be discussed sa laboratory nyo. Okay, so this time, makikilala nyo na yung mga tools na ginagamit sa Anachem na. So, solution stoichiometry. Stoichiometry pa rin siya, pero this time, solution. So, that means we are pertaining to mixtures of substances na. Okay, that will be discussed in chapter 2 naman sa lab. Statistical analysis. Okay, every time you do analysis, there should be statistics. Pero don't be afraid sa statistics because statistics dito is just easy. Okay, so ano lang yan, central tendencies, mean, median, mode, standard deviation, uh, relative standard deviation, percent error, and then test for outliers, no? Some bad datas. Yun. Yun lang i-cover natin. So, madali-madali lang yan. And may calculator shortcut dito. And I would like to share that pagdating... Ay, hindi sa lab pala to, no? Panoorin nyo na lang video ko sa lab pag nandyan na kami. Okay, so may shortcuts dyan eh. Ano pa? Qualitative and quantitative analysis, no? So, ano yan? Parang, ano lang, overall summary ng mga behavior ng molecules, bakit sila nagre-react, and by how much yung kanilang reaction with each other, no? And then, ito yung addition natin, equilibrium reactions. If you could recall your topics sa, chemical equations, pwedeng single arrow yon, pwedeng double-headed arrow. Kapag single arrow, that means the reaction is just pointing towards one direction, going to the product lang, no? Pero if you have a double-headed arrow, one is pointing to the left, the other is pointing to the right, that is an equilibrium reaction. That means the reaction is happening in two directions. So, si Anakim na yung magdi-discuss ng, ng mga ganap sa equilibrium reactions, no? So, basically, ang first objective natin is just to recall in org with some with some fancy stuff, no. Nadadagdagan lang tayo ng newer concepts, no. Mas lalawak yung understanding natin ng in-org through Anachem. Okay? So the next objective will be to develop understanding the concepts through virtual laboratory exercises. And anyway, si lab na yung bahala dito. Last semester, wala tayong virtual lab other than the videos ng laboratory. Yung isa dun sa mga video, ako yon chapter 4 yon, yung chemical reactions, yung may umaapoy-apoy tapos may pinaghalong substance. Basta yun. So ako yun. This time, mas maganda kasi kung mas ma-visualize natin through virtual lab yung experiments, no? Anyway, si lab na bahala dito. So may mga links, may mga virtual websites online that will be incorporated with the discussion para mas makita nyo kung paano yung tamang process. So we can't do this by imagination lang. No? Mas maganda yung nakikita nyo yung process. Excuse me. Discuss the different principles, theories, blah, 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 and its application to real-life situation. Ito tayo, focus tayo dun sa application sa real-life situation. Kasi, ang downside with Anachem is that lots of students find it very hard. And that's true. So yun, totoo naman, mahirap ang Anachem. Kaming mga chemist, no, ito yung subject na kahit anong aral mo, pagdating ng board exam, wala siya sa yung exam namin dito, wala sa libro. Okay, as in, ang ginagawa ko din kasi dun sa chemist, licensure exam is that yung analytical chemistry subject ay kinukuha nila from industry, not from the usual questions sa universities, no. So Kaya pagdating namin ng board exam, yung inaral namin sa Anakim, wala lang. Kasi di namin alam yung sasagot namin. Pero kinaya naman, no? So, yun nga. So, gusto ko lang sabihin doon is mahirap yung Anakim, no? Even sa aming mga chemist, no? So, pero, pag nakita niyo yung importance ng Anakim later, once you saw the importance of Anakim in your field, you should start thinking na this is important sa field ko and I should study it very well, no? Kasi without Anakim, yung life nyo as medical technologists will be quite hard, no? For example, sa urinalysis, sa blood chem, may Anachem doon. Yung mga instruments na ginagamit nyo doon, they use Anachem concepts. Imagine nyo na walang ganon. So, paano kayo magka-count ng ng creatinine levels, no? Ng ano pa ba yung mga nasa urinalysis? Creatinine levels, urea, paano nyo i-count yon? You have no way of counting them unless you use Anachem. Okay? Ano pa? Kunwari, drug testing. May Anachem din yon, no? So, di ba, kukuha kayo ng blood sample, i-extract nyo yung mga bagay doon, then i-run nyo with gas chromatography, which is an instrument used in Anachem. Okay? So, your life will be hard kapag walang Anachem. Okay? So, bale, kailangan mahirapan muna tayo sa Anachem before tayo mag-survive, no? Before tayo maging easy-easy na, no? Sa ating buhay, no? So gano'n naman talaga, no? Sa pag chemist kayo, gano'n din yan, no? Sa una, ang hirap-hirap ng Anachem na subject, pero pagdating sa industry, pag nag-work kayo, industry or academe, dali buhay with Anachem. So, yun yung gusto natin makita dito. Yung application niya sa real life so we can appreciate the subject even though it is hard. Okay. So, sinasabi ko na hard na siya agad na. So, yung applications, ito yung important. Kasi ito yung motivation natin to study the subject. Okay? Kasi kung wala yung application, di wala. No? And then, next one, to manage life-related problems using scientific methods. Okay. So, si Anakem more on how many, and what, no? Yun yung mga question niya. How many of these ang nandyan? Ano yung mga nandyan? So, yun yung mga questions ni Anakem. So, in order to answer those questions, we have to use methods of analysis, no? So, si Anakem, meron niyang recipe book, no? Na nandun lahat yung, nandun lahat yung analysis methods for identifying stuff, no? Excuse me. Kunwari, sa swimming pool, gusto nyo malaman yung chlorine levels, may method dun si Anakem. Kunwari, sa tubig, if you can recall the Flint, Michigan water issue, no? May lead dun sa tubig nila, which is very cancerous, no? So, paano nila nalaman na may lead doon? Anakem yung sasagot doon. Okay? So, for every questions about chemical substances, bakit sila nandun, ano yung mga nandun, and ilan yung mga ganun doon, si Anakem sasagot doon. Okay? So, yan. So, alamin natin yung mga methods of analysis that we can use in answering questions about chemicals, no? For example, drug testing. May drugs ba dyan? To-check mo. Gamit ka ng gas chromatography. Pag may nakita kang peak, ibig sabihin may drugs, no? Positive yon. Pag walang peak, no? Yung molecule na yun, walang signal. So, hindi negative siya. So, ganun. Excuse me. And then the last one is about communication. Okay, so communication, this has been a problem for the scientific community, no? Especially during these times, no? Ang daming words daming terms na lumalabas sa TV. Tas hindi naman nila ma-interpret ng maayos. So, ang goal natin as members of the scientific community is to try to clarify or to communicate effectively with what we are trying to say, no? So, yun. Kasi, kunwari, kayo, ano na kayo, naggawa na kayo ng analysis na let's say kung kunwari blood chem, sige, nandun na yung blood chem results. So, kayo tulungan niyo yung mag-interpret yung tao, 'no, yung patient niyo. Tulungan niyo siya mag-interpret, anong meaning kapag ganito yung glucose level mo, diabetic na ba siya or kulang ba siya talaga sa sugar? Ayan. So, yun yung importante, yung pag-interpret natin ng numbers, 'no? Because if we cannot interpret numbers, if we just lay na, "Oh, ganito lang yung number po, eto po sagot diyan sa number 5." If ganun lang, pero hindi natin alam i-interpret ano yung meaning ng number na yon, hindi tayo magandang communicator, 'no? So, hopefully ma-develop natin yung communication, 'no, para mas clear, 'no? Hindi lang sa receiving end natin, hindi lang sa patient ninyo, kundi sa sarili na rin natin mismo. Kasi alam ko minsan sagot tayo ng sagot. Kunwari, ito number 5, 8.5 mole ng ganyan. Sige, ano meaning niyan? Hindi na natin alam, 'no? So, yun yung gusto natin i-develop dito. Hopefully, we develop yung sense ng, yung clarity, 'no? So, ano yung meaning ng numbers, 'no? Kasi we will be dealing with a lot of them sa Anachem. So, hopefully, yung numbers natin will make sense sa Anachem, 'no? So, yun lang. Communication is the key kasi ito yung magle-link sa atin from scientific community with other people around us, 'no? Anyway, so this is the course material. That's Introduction to Analytical Chemistry by Douglas Cook, etc. et al. No? So yan, according to excuse me, according to the department, this textbook will be a physical book na, no? So we will not be using OWL V2, yung may access code. Hindi na tayo magaganon this semester kasi pricey. No? So instead, we will just use the book. No? According sa screenshot na na-receive ko from my student, no, this is 945 pesos. Tapos, physical book na siya. Better than the ebook last sem. No? Pero, by the way, punta tayo sa Canvas. Pag nandito kasi, pag na-check nyo na yung Canvas nyo, may in-upload akong additional reference materials. No? Okay, dito sa starter pack. I included 2 books which I like. Kasi wala lang, ito yung nakatulong sa akin para maka-graduate dati, no? So this is Chemistry 12th edition by Chang. This is a good textbook as as you review your inorganic chem, no? So ito, you can use this to review inorg chem. Even the fundamental concepts sa Anachem andito rin, no? So you can check that out, no? Ito naman, Quantitative Chemical Analysis. This is Anachem textbook, no? Anachem yan. Ito yung ginamit ko nung college, although we use Scoop din. Ginamit namin Scoop, pero I prefer this, no? Kasi mas madali ko siya naintindihan, no? So, yan. So, I uploaded the 2 materials para mas maraming materials. No? Ganun naman kasi talaga, mas maraming materials, mas maganda. No? So, hindi tayo magko-confine with one book lang. Okay? So, yun lang. So, you can start downloading them na. Tapos, basahin nyo, syempre. Mamaya, dinownload nyo lang yun eh. Yan. Next one, course requirements. No? For you to pass this semester, you have to take 10 quizzes and the exams. No? So, etong 10 quizzes na to, this is divided sa midterm and the final term. No? Okay, so you will have 5 quizzes for the midterm and 5 quizzes for the final term. Okay? So, mamaya pakita natin kung ano yung layout ng quiz na. Basta may 5 quiz kayo until March 15 to 20. Tapos, until May, you have another 5 quiz. Okay? So for the examination, that's midterm and final, as usual, this will now be departmentalized. No? Ibig sabihin, naka-departmentals na yung ating exam, unlike last sem na. So yun. For the grading system of always 50-50 naman yan, no? So 50% lec, 50% lab as usual. And then the components are 50-50 din, no? Formative is 50%, summative is also 50%, no? So kung paano nyo nagawa yung trick para makakuha ng grade last sem, apply nyo lang yon sa Anachem na. Gagana din kasi yun. Okay? Ito naman, student-centered learning. This is just FAU's way of shifting the focus of instruction from teachers to students. However, ako, medyo spoon-feed ako minsan, no? So, yan. Kasi mahirap mag-online class. So, spoon-feed na lang minsan. Minsan, no? Yan. Pero hindi ko naman gagawin yung, eto, basahin nyo na lang yan. Hindi. Di-discuss natin per chapter because Anachem is very crucial. Okay? So, yan. Skip na natin yan. This is your course outline. So, focus tayo dito sa lecture. So, this is the week 1. We're doing orientation and then just some short overview later, no? By next week, we will have review of Gen Chem. So, ano yung review of Gen Chem na yun? Yung dimension analysis, significant figures, etc. No? So, gagamitin nyo kasi yun sa Anachem. So, re-reviewin natin, of course, para ma-refresh yung utak ninyo. Then, we will have sampling, standardization, calibration. These are necessary tools before you do chemical analysis. Then weeks 4 to 6, 3 weeks yan, 4, 5, 6. Chemical equilibrium. Ito na yung may double-headed arrow. Understand natin yung concept nun. Electrolyte effects. Ito yung extension ng chemical equilibrium. And then we will have midterm exam. No? So yan, check out the schedule na lang. Yan, so for the final term, we will have weeks 10 to 11. So 2 weeks yan. Chapter 5 is titration. Then followed by the fundamentals, potentiometric, redox voltammetry. This is in line with the discussion on electrochemistry. So magkasabayan yan. And then foundation of spectrophotometry. Basic na lang yan. And analytical separations na. So yan. Then you will have your final exam on May 17 to 22. So this is the tentative schedule of work. Ito yung schedule ng ating quizzes. So we will not have any quizzes until the 3rd week. No? So some of you may opt to go to other instructor or some of them, pwedeng madagdagan naman tayo dito. So yan, that's okay kasi adjustment tayo. No? So if hindi akma sa inyo yung schedule na 7:30 to 9:30, which is, I know, inaantok tayong lahat ngayon. No? Pwede kayo mag-choose ng ibang prof, okay lang yan. Pwede naman madagdagan tayo dito, that's also okay. No? So, yung mga changes sa schedule na yun, that will be allowed until next week. Yes, next week. No? Then, by 3rd week, the 1st week of February, doon na tayo mag-quiz. Okay? So yan, kung mapapansin nyo, 4 lang yung chapter quizzes pero sabi natin 5 quiz yan, no? So maglalagay tayo ng 2 quizzes sa isang topic dito, syempre. And ang candidate doon ay chapter 3, equilibrium. Mahaba kasi yan eh. So most likely, 2 quiz tayo dyan. Okay? Ito, most likely yung titration, doon tayo magkakaroon ng 2 quizzes dyan. Okay? So we'll check, no, kung ano yung pacing natin, no. Kapag fast naman tayo makapick up, then 2 yung quiz natin. Kapag slow makapick up, edi 2 pa rin yung quiz natin, no. So tignan natin kung ano mangyayari. This is for TAL, analog learners. Puro naman kayo online and asynchronous, no. So that's okay lang. Classroom policy, number 1, to fulfill your task with academic integrity. Okay, so what I want you to do is just to be honest, no? And just do your stuff without cheating, no? Kasi, yes, you can graduate by cheating, no? Pero tandaan nyo may board exam kayo. Okay, So, yun yung catch sa ating mga board programs. May board exam. If you do not have the license, then your options, your opportunity after graduation, ay syempre limited na yun, no? Kasi wala kang title eh. So, yun. I just want to share some story. I have a friend before, hindi na kami friend. So, yun. May friend ako na nag-cheat siya. As in, naging laude pa siya. Okay, so cheat siya until maging laude siya, naka-graduate. Then pagdating ng board exam, karma hits her, him, her, ayun, basta marami sila eh. So yun, so kinarma sila, then yun, hindi sila nakapasa ng boards, no? So hopefully di mangyari sa atin yun, no? Wag naman sana dumating yung karma na ganun. Kaya nga, as of now, I tell you na do your task with academic integrity kasi remember may board exam and karma is real. So just be honest with yourselves, no? Okay, so yun, observe professionalism and honesty as usual in carrying out your task, no? So I don't know if some of you have this group chat, no, na uy ikaw muna mag-take tas picture mo yung question. Hindi na namin makokontrol yan, no? Kasi hindi naman kami, wala naman tayo sa classroom, no? So, pag classroom pwede pa ma-limit yun eh, yung kopyahan. Pero online class, hindi, no? So, ano na lang, honesty na lang. No? Kaya, alam ko naman kaya nyo, no? So, once kasi na nag-cheat kayo sa assessments natin, that means you accept defeat, no? Ibig sabihin, hindi mo na alam. Wala na. Yun na yung last option mo. So, defeated na yung, pag-aaral mo. So, hopefully, wag natin i-accept yung defeat. Alam ko kaya nyo. Kaya, wag tayo magdayaan. Okay? So, yun lang. Nangongonsensya lang tayo ngayon. Okay. So, yun. Next one. Acquire your course materials. They are all uploaded in Canvas. You can start reading them. Okay? So, balik ulit tayo sa ating browser. So, if you check your course card, Analytical Chemistry, ayan na yung ating lessons, no? So, naka-PDF sila. So, you can print them, kayo bahala, no? Or save them sa cellphone nyo, iPad, basahin nyo. No? Kayo na bahala, no? So, dito yung lessons sa lecture, andito yung lessons sa laboratory. Then, kung gusto nyo ma-download yan na mabilisan, just go to Files. Dito sa Lessons folder, you just click the 3 dots doon and download. So, ma-download yan na zip file. Kung yung textbook na nilagay ko kanina, gusto nyo i-download sila. Excuse me. Ito yun. You also click the 3 buttons, 3 dots there and download. Okay. So, yung worksheet, syempre, per chapter, magbibigay ako ng worksheet. No? So, ngayon wala pa. Next week, meron na yan. Okay. So, dun lang. Nandiyan na lahat. Paki-download na lang po. Okay. Ayan. Yan. What else? Organize your schedules. Ito, ngayon pala, magbibigay na ako ng tip. In-emphasize ko kanina that Anachem will be very hard. One reason is calculations. Ang daming solving dito. So, starting chapter 1 until the end, may isosolve kayo. Okay? So, if you are that type of student na nahihirapan sa calculation, okay? Kapag kayo yung student na nahihirapan sa calculation, you give more time sa Anachem. Okay? Bakit? Kasi calculation siya. Wala tayong takas doon. So, starting chapter 1 until the end, nagsasolve kayo eh. So, ang aking suggestion dito is siguro per week, other than your classes, no, may off naman kayo siguro. I don't know kung ilang hours kayo per week ngayong SEM na. Pero give at least 1 hour per day na nagpa-practice kayo ng solving or kahit 30 minutes na. Ako gawain ko nung college, pagkagising ko sa umaga, and totoo to, no? Ginagawa ko to nung college. Although nung third year college lang ako, tapos tinamad na rin ako kasi nasanay na ako sa calculation. Kasi yung weakness ko dati, solving, eh. Okay. So, ginawa ko ng college ako, pagkagising ko sa umaga, I will have 30 minutes, I will answer basic algebra. Algebra talaga. Mm. Solve for x. Ayan. Umaga-umaga, anong gagawin mo? Okay? Ano yung purpose? Para lang matrickle yung brain natin to do stuff, no? So, pag na-activate kasi natin yung brain, kapag mabilis na siya mag-process ng solving, edi good na kayo sa Anachem, no? So, you can abandon ano, that hobby, no? Kapag okay na kayo. Kaya nung after nung third year college ko, ayun, inabandon ako na yung ganong style. Kasi okay na ako, eh. Okay, so ganun lang. Give at least 30 minutes to practice algebra, no? Yes, algebra. Bakit? May mga logarithm sa Anachem. May mga logarithm, may mga exponentials, no? So anyway, don't be afraid. I-discuss ko yun and may shortcut done. Okay? So yun lang. Pero syempre, do your part. Mag-practice na kayo as of now. Okay? And then, lastly, you have to raise your questions, concerns sa akin, especially if you have difficulties with internet connectivity. Okay? So, yan. So, yan. And with that, welcome to this... Ay, hindi pala siya naka-full screen. Salita ako ng salita. Basta, ayan na. So, yan yung dalawang sinabi ko kanina. And then, with that, so welcome to Analytical Chemistry. Do you have any questions with our course outline or kung ano pa mang questions about the course or wala na?
None so far po.
None so far. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so ayan, hopefully clear tayo, ha. So if you have questions, okay lang, no? Kahit in the middle of night, okay lang din. Okay. For example, kaninang madaling araw may nag-message, "Sir, ganito, ganyan." Magre-reply naman ako. Nagising pa ako nun. Okay. So, yun. Basta ano lang, ang gusto ko sa student, pag may tanong, magtatanong. Kahit email nyo na, don't be shy. No? Shy kayo dito sa online class natin, sa virtual classroom natin. Pag nahiya kayo dito, pwede nyo man i-message sa akin. No? So, ganun. By the way, before we proceed sa orientation about the overview of Anachem, I would like to share ito kasi last semester effective naman siguro, no. Ah, kasi sabi ko kanina, 'di ba, na-upload ko sa YouTube yung materials ko. Kunwari, this discussion, this will be uploaded sa YouTube. So ginagawa ko talaga 'yan. Last semester, ang dami kong students na nag-request na na i-public ko yung lessons for this sem, no? So, ganun yung ginagawa ko. Okay? So, di ba sabi ko sa inyo, mag-review kayo ng in-org chem. So, you can review in-org chem. Punta lang kayo sa aking channel sa YouTube. Punta lang kayo dito sa channel. Pangalan niya, J Chemi. Hindi po ako yung may-ari ng alcohol na J Chemi. Sana nga ako na lang, no? So, ayan. Ayan. So, this is my YouTube channel, J Chemi. Pagpunta nyo dito ng playlist, I have several playlists here. Ando si Barney. So, dito sa playlist na to, andito yung mga lessons ko before. No? So, for example, SYAY 2021. So, this is my lessons for last semester. Okay? Kung gusto niyo mag-review ng in-org, just go here. Okay? Ito naman, itong basic analytical chemistry, this is my analytical chem lessons last year, no? Before pandemic, yun. Actually, during lockdown to, no? Yung ECQ natin, ayan, may mga videos akong ginawa kasi naging online class talaga nun, no? Nung around March, April, May. So, gumawa ako ng video lessons, no? So, you can watch this in advance, no? Para may idea na kayo sa i-discuss ko in the future, no? So, yan. You can watch them. Pag magre-review kayo, dito kayo S1, AY 2021. Ito yung last sem. Pag gusto nyo mag-advance ng Anachem, although konti lang yung topics dito, kasi inuntian namin yon kasi ECQ. Punta lang kayo dito. AY 1920 Basic Analytical Chemistry. Yan. So, kung ano yung ginawa ko dito, yun din yung gagawin natin dito. This semester, yung lessons natin, andito siya. S2 AY 2021. So, kunwari, nag-discuss ako ng ganito and then you missed it. Kasi kunwari, sobra ng tulog or you have errands to do, you have check-ups. No? So, okay lang. Kahit di kayo maka-attend ng online class. Just go to this channel. Andun yung video. By the end of the day, available yan. Okay. Sabi naman nila, effective daw to nung nagre-review sila. O kaya pag yung prof nila absent, no? So nakakapag-watch sila dyan. No? So yun. So yan, I have, ayun, sabi ni Hawan, super helpful po, sir. Plus 10 na siya, the joke. So yun. Kasi pag nagre-review kayo ng exams, you may want to binge watch this, no? So yan. Kung ang isang season nga ng palabas sa Netflix, kaya nyo in one day, dapat ito din yung lesson, kaya din to in one day. Hindi, mga 2 hours, 3 hours yung lessons dito. No? Pero this will be helpful, lalo na pag nagre-review na kayo. And this time, public na yung videos. No? So, yun. Kasi, yun nga, mga dati kong student naghahanap ng link and they were not able to enroll sa akin. Kaya, yan, pinablik ko na sila. And you can also share that with your classmates then, no? Na nahihirapan. Okay? Ayun. So anyway, basta yun lang ha. Punta tayo sa, nawala yung share. So punta na tayo sa overview ng Anachem. Let's try to appreciate ano meron sa kanya. Okay? At bakit ba to importante? No? Kasi as long as di natin siya na-appreciate, mahirapan tayo. Okay? So, kailangan may motivation tayo. So, let's start with the overview of analytical chemistry. Excuse me. So, anyway, and so let's have an overview of Anachem. Okay, so when you say, what is Anachem? Basically, gaya ng sabi ko, Anachem is the chemistry that analyzes. No? So, yan, Anachem is about analysis. No? And this is a tool that is used by all sciences. Again, all sciences. No? So, this is a tool that is used by all sciences to analyze matter. No? So, ibig sabihin yan, lahat ng questions mo about matter can be answered by Anachem. No? Okay? So, in doing analytical chem, we should do correct analysis para masagot natin yung questions about matter. So what are the types of analysis sa Anachem? We have the qualitative and the quantitative analysis, no? So sabi natin, pag quality, we are focused on the properties and the identity of matter. Okay? So pwedeng identity ng ions na nasa solution, identity ng elements, no, ng metals na nasa material, no? So si Anachem sasagot niyan. So that's qualitative analysis, no? If our question is about who talaga, no? Tao lang yung ions. So what ions are there? What elements are there, no? What molecules are there? Yan si Anachem sasagot diyan. And their behavior, ano kulay nila? So si Anachem din yung makakapagsagot ng mga ganong question. Specifically, yung qualitative analysis, qualities of matter. Pag sinabi naman quantitative, we are focused on the amounts. No? We are focused on the stoichiometry part. No? How much ng acid meron dito? No? How much ng base meron dyan? How much lead are there in Flint, Michigan? No? So, ganun. Yung mga question about quantity, si quantitative analysis gagawa niyan. Question about the identity, the properties, si qualitative analysis ang gagawa niyan. And sabay yung ginagawa sa Anachem. Okay? So, pinagsasabay natin yung qualitative and quantitative analysis sa Anachem. No? So, sa ngayon, siguro may isip nyo, parang ang dami nun. No? Yes, marami talagang aaralin dito. Kasi pagsasabay natin yung properties of matter at the same time, yung way how to quantify them. Okay? So, madali lang yan, don't worry. Intimidating at first, pero kayang-kaya nyo yan. Okay? So, ngayon, ano yung importance ng Anachem? Sabi ko kanina, Anachem is very important to all the sciences, no? Bakit? Kasi pag sinabi science, more on inquiry yan about existence ng universe, no? Existence ng atoms, no? So, kung yun yung question ng science, then Anachem will be a helpful tool. I'll give you this image. This shows the relationship of Anachem with other scientific fields, no? Okay? So for example, skip na natin yung chemistry sa Anachem, no? Kasi obvious naman, chem yan eh. Okay. So kung titingnan natin tong graph na to, medyo may weird na bagay, no? Hindi mo i-expect na may Anachem sa physics. Okay? So hindi mo ma-expect yan. Pero bigyan ko kayo example how Anachem is used sa physics, no? So one example would be stars. Okay, so if you look up sa Wikipedia, yung star composition, sabihin doon, 99% hydrogen, 1% other elements, helium, lithium, carbon, etc. No? So, ang question doon, how were they able to identify and quantify the elements that are there in the sun? Pumunta ba sila sa sun, sa gabi, tapos nagtimbang sila? Hindi. No? Impossible yun. So, sa tingin nyo, ano kaya ginawa nila? They use Anachem concepts. No? Kung maalala nyo yung course outline natin kanina, there is a topic that is called spectrophotometry. Spectro meaning light, metry meaning measurement. Okay? So that field in chemistry, in spectrophotometry, it can identify and quantify matter based on its appearance, its light, no? Yung behavior niya sa electromagnetic spectrum. Kunwari, ang star ay kulay orange. So that means that star is composed of carbon kasi ang carbon, it emits orange color. Kung gusto niyo example, kandila, 'di ba kapag yung kandila sinindihan niyo yung kandila, kulay orange yung apoy sa taas, and that's because of the carbon that are being burned, no? Yun, that are being excited by heat, no? So yung orange doon, that's carbon atoms, no? So kaya yung Betelgeuse, that's the star that's about to explode in our lifetime or maybe in the future's lifetime, no? Malapit na siya sumabog. Yung orange star na yon, nalaman nila na may carbon yon kasi it glows orange, no? It glows red orange, no? And yun, ano pa? Yung ano pa kaya? Yun nga, yung star natin, 'di ba, malalaman mo may hydrogen siya, may helium, may carbon, no? May iron, no? So paano nila nalaman 'yon? Kasi sabi natin sa inorg-chem, every elements they give off certain colors, 'di ba? For example, sodium, kulay dilaw 'yan. Pag fliname test mo 'yan, okay? Kunwari, lithium, kulay red 'yan kapag nilayaban mo 'yan, no? Carbon, kulay orange 'yan. Okay? So, depending on the color that is emitted by a celestial object, you can determine the identity and the quantity of the elements or the molecules that are there. No? So, ganun din yung ginagamit nila sa physics kapag inaalam nila yung composition ng Mars. Sabi nila, may methane sa Mars. How? Anachem, spectrophotometry. Okay? They use electromagnetic spectrum to see if may traces ng certain molecules there. Okay? So ganun. So that's how Anachem and physics are related. No? It can identify the elements or the molecules that are there in celestial objects, no? And it can quantify. Paano nila nalaman na may water sa moon? Anachem. Okay? So they use instruments to determine if may water. No? So ganun din sa stars, no? And for the exoplanets out there, no? So that's how Anachem is related to physics, no? Parang hindi mo siya i-expect pero yes, ganun. Spectrophotometry ang ginagamit sa physics, no? Although not limited to that, no? So yun. Ano pa? Anachem and engineering. Paano sila naging related, no? So, for example, materials, no? Construction, may bakal, yung mga rebars, no? Yung mga bakal na yon, they are optimized to be cost-effective, pero matibay, okay? So, yung mga bakal kasi sa construction, may certain composition yun ng elements. It should contain specific amounts of carbon for it to be flexible yet strong. Too much carbon would mean that metal will be brittle, no? Masisira agad 'yon. Too much less carbon naman would mean na masyado nang magastos yung bakal na 'yon, no? Magastos na nga, mabilis pa mahirap pa i-bend, no? So, yung mga ganong questions sa engineering about the optimization of mixture. Teka lang, lobat yung laptop. Ayun, so yung mga questions sa engineering about the mixture of the elements, no, in materials, si Anakim yung pwedeng makasagot doon, no? Okay? So, inaaral nila yon sa subject na strength of materials, no, pag civil engineering. Teka lang. Ayaw mag-charge. Wait lang. Anyway, so yan. Ayan, nag-charge na. Okay. Gulat ako. Mamaya bigla na lang ako mawala eh. Okay, so yan. So about the materials, strength of materials, proper mixture of materials, Anakim din pwede sumagot doon. Okay? Yun din yung sa material science. Yun yung link niya with Anakim. Punta tayo dito. Social sciences. Paano yun? Punta tayo sa specific example, forensics, no? So, paano may Anakim sa forensics? Okay. So, I would like to share a story about a forensic chemist, no? From, Valenzuela PNP Crime Lab, no? Share niya yung kwento niya about how useful Anakim is sa work niya. Okay? Kasi siya ay isang forensic chemist. So, nagdi-deal siya with identifying kung paano namatay yung tao, what time siya namatay, and etc. Okay? So, paano naging related yung Anakim doon? So, punta tayo sa question na paano namatay yung tao. Ito daw kasi yung nangyari. Ang first case na na-handle niya is patay na tao, syempre. Just, ang question sa kanya, kailan niya namatay and paano siya namatay? Okay, so parang ang hirap, no? Paano mo sasagutin yan? Sino sasagot doon? Anakim. Okay? So yung question na paano siya namatay, that's calculus lang, no? So we can use the Newton's law of cooling. That's the, integral ng something, no? Hindi ko na maalala masyado. College pa ako, ginagawa ko yan eh. So you can use the Newton's law of cooling. Just compare your temperature, the body temperature, the cadaver temperature with the normal body temperature. Depending sa difference in temperature, you can tell kung kailan siya namatay, no? Kasi ang cadaver, as long as tumatagal yan, matagal na siya namamatay, mas lalong bumababa yung temperature niya, no? It equalizes sa ambient temperature, no? So yun, basic calculus lang. So nasagot na niya yung paano siya namatay? Ay, kailan siya namatay? Ang sumunod na question yung mahirap. Paano siya namatay? So, as a forensic chemist daw, ang una niyang ginawa is ganito. Siyempre, one way of checking kung paano yan namatay is to check kung ano yung mga last na kinain niya, no? So, ginawa niya, binuksan niya daw yung cadaver, kinuha niya yung stomach, liver, kidneys, no? Tas blender nila. Oo. Legit yung pag-blender na yun. Okay? So, pag blend mo yun, the mixture becomes homogenized. Then you can extract the molecules that are there. Okay? So, i-blender yon, tapos kukunin nila yung extract, yung mga molecules na nandun sa loob ng liver, no? Etc. Tapos, ito daw yung napansin nila. Sa liver part, no? Nung in-extract nila yon, may nadetect silang cyanide, no? CN minus, no? Yun yung anion, no? Cyanide. So, ito yung question nila. Possible ba na namatay yung tao dahil sa cyanide poisoning? Yes, no? Bakit? Kasi may cyanide level eh. Paano nila na-detect yon? Using chromatography, no? Or using titration, pwede rin, no? So, naggawa lang sila ng Anachem method, no? Halo sila ng substance, determine nila yung amount ng cyanide. Then, since may cyanide doon, edi namatay yung tao because of cyanide poisoning. Sabi niya, nangyari daw yan during the time na maraming balita sa TV about cyanide poisoning, no? Uso kasi dati yung silver cleaner, no? Ang daming, promise nung bata ako nun. Ang daming ko napapanood na ganung balita, no? Mga silver cleaner incident, no? Iniinom nila, tapos nadudod sila, no? So, yung cyanide kasi yung dahilan bakit sila namamatay. So, imagine that, no? By just, identifying whether may molecule na ganun, malalaman mo kung paano siya namatay, no? And kailan siya namatay. Okay? So, yun yung sinabi niyang importance ng Anachem, no? Na if you want to work as a forensic chemist, sabi niya nung una, kailangan magaling ka sa calculus. Pangalawa, hindi ka takot sa cadavers. Pangatlo, alam mo yung Anachem. Okay, so yun sabi niya. Kasi yung Anachem daw yung sasagot, no, kung paano namatay. No? Siyempre, kasama na doon yung ibang medicine stuff, no? Mga physiological marks, no. So yun, bala na yung medical legal doon. Pero sa forensic chemist, yun daw yung gawain nila. Mag-blender, tapos maghanap ng molecules na nandun. Okay? Punta pa tayo dito. Environmental science. So, paano nagka-Anachem doon? Punta tayo sa meteorology. Alam niyo yung ozone hole, no? So, yung ozone hole, yun yung butas sa ating atmosphere na walang ozone molecules doon. So, that means that the UV rays from the sun can directly pass through the atmosphere and hit the surface of the earth dun sa ozone hole. No? Question, paano nila nalaman yon? Sagot ay spectrophotometry ng analytical chemistry. Yung mga satellite tayo na may mga spectrophotometers. No? So those satellites orbit around the earth, they scan the earth and detect ozone molecules. No? So based on the quantitation data, makikita natin na yung certain region sa Antarctica, may kulang na ozone doon, kaya may butas, no? Pero for the other parts of the world, wala siyang ozone hole, no? Kasi complete siya ng ozone, no? So, yun yung use ng Anachem sa NPyChem. Last one. Last example, para makita niyo kung gaano kalawak yung Anachem, no? Geology. Kunwari, nakita niyo, may fossil. Ano sabi doon sa balita? Sabi nila yung fossil, ito ay 100,000 years ago pa siya nag-exist. Question, paano nila nalaman yon? Anachem, okay? Specifically, carbon dating. Nuclear chem na Anachem. Okay? So, carbon dating. Identify mo lang gano'ng karami yung carbon-14 sa sample mo and compare that to the atmospheric carbon-14 levels by doing just some calculus. Yan, pwede mo malaman kung gaano nakatagal yung iyong sample na. So, yan. So, basically, other than the obvious chem relationship ng Anachem, pwede mo pa siya i-apply with other fields such as physics, engineering, social sciences, material sciences, agriculture, and by side, geology. So, malawak yung applications ng Anachem. No? So, this should give us an idea that Anachem is a hard subject. Yes, kasi ang lawak ng scope niya. However, it is very important sa sciences. No? Because without this subject, yung other fields of science, they will not be able to answer the questions what elements are there and how much of them are there, no? So hindi nila masasagot yung ganong question without Anachem. So parang kung sasabihin ko, ang Anachem yung central ng central science, 'di ba? Chemistry is the central science. Yung pinaka-central ng central na yon, yung Anachem, no? Siya yung puso ng lahat, no? So it relates the properties of matter and the ways to quantify them. Okay? So yun. So ganoon siya ka-important, no? So hopefully by just looking at the importance of Anakim, malaman natin na important 'tong subject na 'to, no? So yun. So yun, sana may motivation kayo nakuha. Ayun, lawak pala ng subject na yan. Parang nakakatamad ah. Huwag ganun. Malawak yung subject na yan and I want to learn more. Na ganun dapat yung motivation natin. Okay? Kasi to be honest, masarap sa feeling kapag alam mo yung sagot sa mga bagay, no? So yun. So si Anakem, that will be a helpful tool for you to to answer questions sa sciences. Okay, so ngayon punta naman tayo sa methods of doing quantitative analytical uh, methods. No? So yan. So when we are doing quantitative analysis, we can use two ways of measurement, no, para makukuha yung quantity ng matter. So ano yung two ways ng measurement to get the quantity of matter? One is the direct measurement and the other one is the indirect measurement. Pag sinabi natin direct, that means we are obtaining the idea about the quantity of matter directly. Kunwari, may uling ka. You want to determine the number of carbon atoms there. Anong pwede mo gawin? You can get its mass, tapos divide mo siya sa molar mass ng carbon. You will have the moles of the carbon, tapos convert mo yon using Avogadro's number, magiging ano na yon, number of carbon atoms. So that's the direct method, no, or direct measurement sa Anachem, sa quantitative analysis. Okay? So ano yung ginagawa natin pag direct method ulit or direct measurement? You get the quantitative data by just measuring its volume or obtaining its mass. Makukuha mo yung dami ng elements based on its mass and volume. Direct yan. Wala nang conversion. Yun na yun. Kung ano yung mass niya, ano lang, makukuha mo na yung makukuha mo na yung amounts of the elements in there. Pero kapag sinabi naman nating indirect, this makes use of proportionality. For example, yung star, hindi siya kulay red, hindi siya kulay orange. So that means walang carbon masyado doon. Kapag super orange na yan, red giant na yan, yan ay puro carbon na. Okay? So depending on the color, the intensity of color, yan, depending on the intensity of color, may ibang interpretation yun. Too much red, that means marami na siyang carbon, sasabog na yung star na yan. O wala siyang red, ibig sabihin, bata pa yung star na yan, hindi pa siya sasabog. No? So main sequence star pa lang yan, just like our sun. No? So yun yung indirect methods. No? By using proportionality, no, you can determine yung identity ng elements and the quantity ng elements na nandun. Okay? So that's one reason, that's one example. No? So depending on the signal that is emitted by by your sample, mayroong corresponding quantity yon. No? Kunwari, glucose meters. Kasi hindi ko alam kung syempre, familiar kayo with glucose meters naman. No? Pero hindi ko alam kung nakagamit na kayo. Ako, nakagamit na ako noon. Hindi naman ako diabetic. Wala lang. Trinay ko lang. Yung glucose meter na yon, kung mapapansin nyo yung tip nun, yung strip, glucose meter strip, parang may mga circuitry doon, di ba? Parang may circuit doon. Okay? Kasi gagawin mo, yung blood mo, ilalagay mo dun sa parang circuit na yan. Tapos, lalabas agad yung glucose level mo. Okay? After around 1 minute, no, lalabas na agad yung glucose levels mo. Paano nila nalalaman yon? Using the indirect methods of analysis. Ginagawa ng glucose meter na yon, it determines the voltage, no? The voltage transmitted by the blood, no? Okay? So kung mataas yung voltage na to, it could mean na marami siyang glucose. Pag mababa yung voltage na na-transmit ng blood, ibig sabihin nun, mababa yung glucose level niya. So yun, you can indirectly measure the quantity of substances using proportional values, no? For example, yung light and yung electrical charges, no, sa mga glucose meters, no. So ganun yung concept nila. Yun. Kunwari sa urinalysis, napanood ko sa YouTube ang urinalysis pala, you have your urine sample, lagay mo siya sa test tube, then may ilalagay kang test strip. So yung test strip na yun, parang papel yun, ilulubog mo siya sa urine, tapos mag-iiba-iba yung kulay nun, depending on the levels of the molecules that are there in your sample. Okay? So, kapag super intense daw yung color, it means marami siyang ganun. No? Kunwari, marami siyang urea, marami siyang creatinine. No? So, ganun. So, depending on the intensity of the color, you can indirectly quantify matter. No? So, those are the two types of measurement in quantitative analytical chem methods. No? So, pwedeng direct mo na siya ma-measure, pwedeng indirect. No? Ano yung difference nila? Pag indirect, you have to use proportional. Hindi mo siya directly maukuha. Pero you can use other properties of matter to identify kung gaano siya karami. Such as, the mass, pwedeng i-convert mo yan. Volume, ganun din, convert mo na lang. Intensity of light, depending on the, intensity, iba-iba yung levels ng ah, iba-iba yung dami ng elements na yon. Pwede ring electrical charge such as sa glucose meters. pH meter, ganun din, no? So yung pH meter probe, pag nilubog mo yun sa solution, it determines the voltage that can be transmitted by the solution. So depending on the voltage, may corresponding pH yon. Okay? So ngayon, ang question is, paano tayo nakakuha ng measurements, no? So we have four major ways to do measurements sa anachem. We can use gravimetric methods from the word itself, gravity, metric, measurement using gravity, or basically kukunin mo yung mass, no, or yung weight ng substance. Okay, so this is one way for you to get quantitative data. Pwedeng direct, pwedeng indirect data makuha mo dyan. No? So, gravimetric method is a method of measurement in anachem that makes use of the molecules or the sample's mass or weight. No? Tapos ikaw na bahala mag-convert dyan, whether gusto mo ng direct analysis or indirect analysis. Next one, volumetric. Kung ito mass, itong volume, edi volume. Okay? Volumetric analysis, focus siya sa sa volumes. Volume ng gas, volume ng liquids, ko-convert mo na lang using certain equations. Pwedeng gas laws, pwedeng molarity equation. Makuha mo yung moles ng substances. Electroanalytical methods, hulaan nyo kung ano ginagamit niyan. Electrical properties, no? Yun yung ginagamit ng voltage, current, resistance, electrical charge, which are used in test strips, no? Alam niyo ba yung thermometer, ganyan din. Electroanalytical methods din gamit yan. So, I have a thermometer here kasi minsan minumonitor ko yung temperature ko. Kasi medyo volatile yung health ko. Lalo na ngayong mainit, tapos biglang malamig, di ba? Mabilis akong magkasakit pag ganun. Itong thermometer natin na digital, even yung infrared, no? Ano lang siya, it compares the signals, no? Kapag mababa yung voltage na matatransmit, ibig sabihin, mababa temperature. Kapag mataas yung voltage na matatransmit, ibig sabihin, mataas yung temperature. So, yun yung concept na itong thermometer na to. For the infrared thermometer, medyo di ako familiar. No. So, pero ganun yung idea. No. So, they make use of the electrical properties of matter in determining quantitative data. No. And then last one, we have the spectroscopic methods. So from the word spectro, meaning light. Okay. So we are focused on the interaction of matter sa electromagnetic spectrum. Pag sinabi nating light, malawak yan. Pwedeng visible light, pwedeng ultraviolet, pwedeng infrared, no? So yan. So they make use of those they make use of that property of matter, yung electromagnetic spectrum niya, in determining the identity or the quantity of your substances, no? Okay. So these are the other methods of analysis na hindi na natin ko-cover kasi too complicated na. Hindi naman siya complicated na. Actually, mas complicated nga itong apat na to. Pero masyado na mahaba na. Kasi to be honest sa inyo, yung anak yung pag BS Chem kayo, tatlong sem yan. Ngayon, isang sem lang eh. So, ko-compress natin yan. Okay? So, ganun lang. How do we do quantitative analysis, no? So, ngayon, alam na natin kung paano tayo kumuha ng quantitative data. Paano tayo kumuha ng quantitative data? Pwedeng direct, pwedeng indirect. Okay? Tapos ano yung mga processes para makakuha ng direct and indirect measurement? Pwede tayo mag-gravimetric, volumetric, electroanalytical and spectroscopic, no? So yun yung mga ways to get quantitative data. Ngayon, paano tayo kukuha nun? Paano tayo makagawa ng ng proper analytical chem method, no? So ganito. So gagawin nyo, you select a method. So alamin mo muna what method is applicable to your sample. Kunwari, drug testing yan. Okay, so piliin mo yung method for drug testing. Okay, kasi ang daming methods yan eh. I don't know if meron pa rin ako nun. Pero meron kaming cookbook, tawag doon. Cookbook, literal na cook. No? May cookbook kami sa Anachem eh. Okay, so yung cookbook na yan, andyan yung recipe, how to measure data. No? So how to measure cyanide, how to measure lead, how to measure this molecule. Nasa cookbook yan. No? Okay. So, bali mamimili kami doon. Anong method kaya yung maganda? O, kunwari, I want to determine kung may drugs to. So, kukunin ko yan. Method for drug testing. Then, once may method na ako, I will acquire my sample. So, syempre, medtech kukuha ng dugo. Kayo naman yung qualified to do that. Kukunin nyo yung dugo. Then, you will process the sample. Hindi mo siya ilalagay yung dugo, hindi mo siya directly ilalagay dun sa instrument, no? Hindi mo siya directly isasalpak doon, tas gagana na yon. Hindi. Ginagawa nyo, di ba, may hinahalo-halo kayo sa dugo, no? May mix kayo doon in order to modify the solution. Okay, bakit? Kasi minsan merong interferences sa analysis ninyo. Kasi yung dugo, maraming yan eh, marami siyang kasama, di ba? So, hindi lang naman yung siya, red blood cell, white blood cell, plasma, platelets. So hindi lang naman yung mga yun nandun, no? So if you want to study one molecule, then you have to treat your sample to extract that molecule. Pwedeng ilagay mo siya sa organic solvent para makuha yung mga organic molecules. No? Tapos yung organic molecules na nakuha, yun yung ilalagay mo sa chromatography, gas chrom, para ma-detect kung may drugs. No? So, ganun. So, hindi porket nakakuha ka ng sample, isasalang mo na siya agad. No. There is a proper processing methods for each sample. No. Bakit? Para matanggal yung unnecessary molecules. We call them mga interference. No? Para mawala yung mga interference at makita mo yung molecule na gusto mo hanapin. Then, once you were able to do that, you can now measure kung may molecules ba dyan, you can calculate the result, and you estimate the reliability of results. Okay? So, pag nakuha mo na yung result mo, you should not be satisfied with one data. Kaya nga, usually, naka-triplicates ang ating measurement. Diba? Pag nag-thesis kayo, ganun yon, triplicates yon, or mas maganda, mas marami, no? Bakit? Kasi we want to check, baka mamaya tsamba lang yung nakuha mong data. So, pag sinabi natin yung estimation of reliability, dito na papasok yung statistics, no? Check mo yung mean mode, standard deviation. Kung malaki yung standard deviation, ibig sabihin, mali yung ginagawa mo. Pag may bad data, tatanggalin mo ba siya or hindi? Hindi natin sure. You can use certain equations sa stats, no? to check the reliability of your result na. Basically, kung ano yung sinabi ko dito na pala. Okay, so ito yung picking the method. May proper method for each analysis. Acquiring sample. So, for example, yung blood, syempre, kayo kukuha, di ba? Then, you will process it na. Okay, so for example, solid yung inyong sample, edi i-grind mo siya, no? Gagawin mo siyang powder, then you will mix it with your solution. Pag liquid naman, you have to use proper solvents, no? Pwedeng organic solvent, pwedeng inorganic solvent to extract the molecules from there. Then, you will have to remove interferences, no? Yung mga panggulo sa data. Kasi, minsan nag-overlap yung molecules eh. So, ayaw mo mangyari yon, kaya kailangan i-eliminate mo yung interferences, no? Ayun, so, basically, kung ano yung nakwento ko dito, yun na pala yun. Okay? So, ganun lang. So, ang quantitative analysis sa chemistry, may flowchart yan. Kailangan alam mo yung principle sa pag-identify ng molecules na gusto mo kunin, alam mo kung paano kukuha ng sample, alam mo kung paano tanggalin yung interferences sa sample, and dapat marunong ka mag-statistics after carrying out your chemical analysis. No? So, ganun po ka-intensive yung process sa ANAChem. And lahat ng iyan, i-discuss natin sa subject na to. No? So, that will give you an idea that ANAChem is hard, no? Pero, kayang-kaya. Okay, so as long as you know the fundamental concepts about chemical reactivity and marunong kayo mag-stoichiometry and marunong kayo mag-stats, maka-survive kayo. Okay, so that's the overview of ANAChem. So basically, ang dami niyang pasikot-sikot kasi aalamin mo yung properties of matter, aalamin mo paano siya i-measure. Pero, ang mahalaga doon, masagot mo yung questions, no? So, yun naman yung goal parate, no? So, kapag binatuhan kayo ng question, kailangan masagot nyo. Paano siya makakount and gaano siya karami, no? So, si Anakim yung magiging tool natin to do that, no? And that's the overview of Anakim. Siguro sa ngayon, it could be overwhelming. Ang daming nangyayari. Yes, maraming nangyayari. Parang ang daming kailangan aralin. Yes, maraming aaralin. Pero in the end, important to sa field natin. Sa inyong medtech at sa mga chemist tulad ko, no? So, yun. Important 'yon para sa ating lahat kasi ang goal naman ng science is to answer questions, no? Okay? So, basically, that's all for our orientation. Hindi pa pala ako nagpapakilala, no? So, teka lang. Ay, mag full screen. Wait lang ha. Ayan, so sagutin na natin yung question. Sino ba yung nagsasalitang yan? Ako po ito. So, I will be your instructor. My name is Jim R. Cruz. Okay, so I'm a chemist, no? And, yun lang. Ano pa ba pwede ko sabihin about myself, no? Graduate ako ng college 2018. Wala, ang tanda ko na. So, yung graduate ako ng college 2018. Nagturo ako sa dalawang university. PUP first, then lumipat ako sa FEU kasi may aircon. Hindi, joke lang. Yan, so, dalawang university pinagturuan ko. PUP, FEU. PUP, ang tinuruan ko ay senior high school, engineering students, and food technology. No? So, yun yung mga tinuruan ko sa PUP. Sa FEU naman, tinuturuan ko primarily medtech kasi nasa medtech department ako. Nasa biology, psych, and education. Ayan, yan yung mga handle ko sa FEU. So, anong subject po tinuturo ko? Siyempre, chemistry. Sa senior high, tuturo ako ng Gen Chem 1, Gen Chem 1, 2. Sa ENG, nagturo ako ng Chem 4 ENG. Tapos sa food tech, nagturo ako ng biochem. Sa medtech, nagturo ako ng inorg-org. Tapos anachem. Tapos, ano pa ba mga tinuro ko? Sa psych, nagturo ako ng in-org chem, in-org lang. Sa education, nagturo ako ng org chem. Okay, so mapapansin mo, yan, dyan lang umiikot buhay ko. Dyan, puro chem, no? So, yan. For 2 years, more than 2 years, yan yung ginagawa ko na, no? So, ganun. Hopefully, kayo, pagka-graduate nyo rin, no? Sana maging educator din kayo, no? Kasi kailangan kayo ng university and kailangan kayo ng mundo. So, yun. So, yan lang yung short overview about me. I am also a registered chemist, kaya may RCH kami sa dulo. So, kayo, pag naging medical technologist na, RMT naman na. So, yun. Yun lang masasabi ko about myself. Basta yan, Sir Jim, no? Pwede Sir Jim. Kasi pag Sir Cruz, hindi ako sanay na tinatawag sa balita eh. Okay, Sir Jim na lang. Okay, so yun. So I will be your instructor for this sem until May, no? And then after that, pahinga muna. Okay, so yun. So yun lang. Do you have any question about the subject matter or any other unrelated questions sa subject? Alas 9 na pala. None na daw. Okay. So with that, no, hopefully nakita natin na yung Anachem ay tricky, no. Pero important. So yun yung gusto ko makita niyo, no. So sana makita niyo yung Anachem as something na challenging pero important, no. So yun yung motivation natin, yung importance niya. No? So hopefully with that, no, magkaroon tayo ng motivation to study Anachem lalo, no. So wag tayo magpapatalo sa Anachem. Kayang-kaya nyo yan, no? So, yun lang. Hopefully, kayanin natin this sem. This will be the first sem na i-discuss to online. So, we're not sure kung paano yung magiging feedback ng students, no? Kasi, usually, Anachem is face-to-face talaga eh. Pero, we'll see. No? Hopefully, ma-deliver natin yung topic ng maayos, no? So that means by next week, we will have review of GenChem. The PDFs are already uploaded sa Canvas. Buksan natin Canvas. Ando na po yung PDF, no? Just check it. Basahin nyo na rin kung ano yung nandun. Kasi yun din naman yung gagawin natin. Okay? Ano itong announcement na to? Okay. So, next week, chapter 1 na tayo. Start na tayo ng mismong lesson. So, review of GenChem lang yan. Andiyan na yung lesson. Ako po gumawa niyan kasi kaya, ayan. Pwede basahin nyo na siya. Para pagdating sa lesson natin mismo, ano na tayo, bibukid na, no? So, mag-upload din ako ng worksheet dito. No? May mga questions tayong sasagutan. Usually 10 questions, no? So, yun. Proceed na tayo with chapter 2. Okay? So, yun. So, with that, I'll see you by next week, Tuesday. Same time, same place. Dito pa rin sa chat box natin na to sa MS Teams. No? So, yan. So, stay safe lang po, ha? Okay? So, without any other questions, kung meron pa, email nyo na lang ako or message sa Canvas, ha? So, with that being said, so thank you po for your attendance and I'll see you again next week po. So, a copy of this recording will be uploaded sa YouTube, no? So, yan. So, bye-bye po and mag-iingat.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you